those are not. Okay.
Let me mute you.
Ik kijk hier het. Ja, het is gewoon nog niet.
Hey, Steve. You're all ready, huh?
Yes.
Okay. Demo. All right. So everyone are welcome.
I have to give an introduction on how to.
Okay, you got it. Let's let Yan do some introductions that how to what I call the function of the use of the what we're doing now. Okay, you go.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Yan. You know, for those that have not met me yet, I'm his eldest daughter.
Yeah.
So I'm on the other screen. That says Zhong Xin Dao Yili Chen. Anyway, so what we have now is that, like, first of all, this is being live broadcasted on YouTube. So if you know anybody that can't get into the room because we have a maximum of 100 participants, you can share them the YouTube link. And second of all, this is being broadcast. This has German live translation by Miro, our instructor Miro. So the way how you can go and listen to the German translation will be on the bottom of your screen. There's a globe that says interpretation, I think. Like, and then you click on German. Miro, would you like to explain that in German in case we have anyone that doesn't understand?
Possible. That's the game. Win with as few lives lost as possible. It's a tough enemy. It's a tough killer. Far bigger.
Miro? Oh, okay, hold on. He is. I need to just turn this off first. Miro?
Yes, now you have finished the the interpreter session.
So would you like to translate what I just said so that they can?
Yes. Also für diejenigen, die kein Englisch sprechen, ihr seid willkommen, an der Übersetzung teilzunehmen. Ihr braucht auf dem unteren Rand eures Bildschirmes, ist irgendwo in der Mitte, ein bisschen rechts von der Mitte, ist ein Globzeichen. Ich sehe das jetzt in meiner Session nicht, aber irgendwo sollte dort so ein Globus sein. Auf das Globus sollt ihr jetzt klicken. Und dann wird ein Pop-up-Menü erscheinen. Da kann man Englisch oder Deutsch anklicken. Also ihr sollt bitte Deutsch anklicken. Sollte es irgendwie im Laufe der Session nicht mehr passen, ihr könnt wieder über denselben Weg zurück zu dem Original kommen. I'm finished here.
Okay, thank you. Can you ask how many people actually here needs a German translation?
Könnt ihr mir bitte sagen, wie viele brauchen überhaupt eine deutsche Übersetzung? Wer braucht sie?
On YouTube.
Yeah.
Hold on. On YouTube. He can unmute the phone and say.
Ich würde sie nutzen, aber momentan sieht man den Globe nicht mehr.
Ja, das ist so, weil sie hat es jetzt ausgeschaltet. Wenn sie mich einschalten wird als Übersetzer, dann wirst du unten auf der unteren Leiste jetzt dieses Globus sehen. And there is one person who would need.
Okay. All right. Then we will use this. Then let me start the interpretation, and then he can go into that. Okay.
I don't see. Okay, now it is there.
Okay, Emma.
Okay.
Okay, and so because we have so many people, so we will mute everyone. Make sure you mute your microphone. And then it depends on how my dad wants to conduct the class. He can ask people for questions, and then you can unmute yourself, which is a little microphone on the bottom of your screen. And then if you see a red cross around it, across it, that means we cannot hear you. Okay, and then if you need to get our attention, they are icons on after you press on manage participants on the side. They are like yes, no, go slower, go faster. You can try to use these icons to get our attention. If you you know, put in any reactions, and then we'll see how that goes. Okay, raise hand for questions. Yeah. Like, how do you raise hand? Like, maybe that clap. You guys see the hand on my screen? Like this. The hand.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So we'll let my dad carry on.
Okay. Welcome, everyone. Now, first of all, I would like to go by questions. I'm more here to answer and get rid of the doubt. You see, is there any question first before I go ahead? Anyone have any questions about the philosophy systems or the principles first? No one? No one?
Hi, Sifu.
Yes.
Can you hear? I had a question actually. Yesterday when we did the circles with the cycles with Jeff, with Rich, we went and we discussed a little bit inside and out, and outside the body line when you project, and inside the body line when you absorb, right? So the question that I had was, when there's sometimes in the exercises you also project when you're inside the body line. How can we see that? Is there an explanation that maybe then the move is not as powerful, or it's not as optimal, and we should avoid those types because we're not, let's say, when we're going out, we're projecting, we're not on the outside of the body line. How can I wrap my head around that and understand what that movement is about, and how I can train it properly?
Yes, of course. You said that if you are not have the whole unifications, so then the power is not optimized. All right, it will be, we call that, it's more like a segment, very short segment. You see, it's not the whole unification, right? When we talk about the right action of the unification, right? Longer that you can connect, greater the power is. Yes, yeah. Because
yes.
of the leverage. Because of leverage. Now, when you talk about sometimes, why is that how can you define? First of all, you must be able to define what is open, what is closed, right? Because we talk about 4 strategies, right?
Yeah.
All right. The inside, of course, you open. Outside, of course, you close.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That means, you see, this is from here. This is inside. This is outside. Yes. From outside, you open. Inside, you close.
Yes.
Right? That is, yeah. Excuse me. Now, then what you consider open and close? You say this is outside, inside. As the inside, you absorb. Outside, you project. Yes.
Yes.
Now, sometimes because now, for instance, we are this, right? Now, if the point of contact is here, right? You see, first of all, here, the shoulder line here, right? We say this body, the hand here. This is 90 degrees, is the neutral.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Now, it's smaller than, it's less than 90 is closed. Here, neutral, then it's open. Yes?
Yes. Yes.
The same thing horizontal. Below horizontal is closed. Neutral, above horizontal is open. Yes?
Yes.
This is from this joint, right? It's very simple. But when we come to point of contact, if my point of contact is here, right? Now, if here, that means it's what? If I consider here, here will be inside, yes?
Correct. Yeah.
The inside, you say, if, now, but when it comes to point of contact, there has a kind of a reference from here. If I activate from here, you consider inside. That means I from here, I absorb, right?
Okay.
But if here, you consider outside.
Yeah.
So I project from here, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. This is absorb here, and this is project from here. This is
So-
also consider outside, also consider inside.
So does that depend? Do I have to focus on either the hand or the elbow, which is either inside or outside from what I want to do, project or absorb, and I focus on either this one or that one, depending on what I want to do?
Yes, because that it prepare on the point of contact is here, right? If I activate from inside here, if I move from here, then it's absorb.
Yeah.
If I move from here, then will be project.
So if I do my cycles,
Yes.
then my hand is inside, but my elbow is outside. Do I then focus on, if I project, do I focus on my elbow so that the project is coming from an outside point
Yes.
of execution?
Yes. All right. Then normally from here, when you go over here, you absorb. You see? Yes. When
Yes.
you pass this line, you project. You see? All right.
Thank you, Sifu.
Yeah. But the more important thing is that now, for instance, like the every actions of movement, we also have one point of contact that consider the half line, right? The half line. The
Yeah.
half line, they have what? They have offense and defense line, right? So every time you must have the protection first, right? The half line must be half line, must be protecting us, you see, as a defense first. All right.
Understand. Thank you.
Okay. Is there any more questions? Okay. Now,
Sifu, could you talk a little bit about the 3 points of contact and how that could work with doing these basic exercises?
all right. Now, like yesterday, right? Richard was talking about we first of all, we break down into hardware and software. Right? Now, hardware, what do you mean by hardware first? The hardware is our nature. It's our nature, that the things that cannot be changed. Right? Like our body, right? Our bone, ligament, tendons, muscles that cannot be changed. Yes? And the software is the point of contact. It's the movement based on the point of contact. So all movement must move from the hardware, right? According to what the point of contact is. Understand? Now, the hardware itself have 3 points. Like a one. When we say 3 point, 3 point that means is neutral, yin yang. right? Neutral yin yang, right? But this is only one dimension. But when it's have a cross, that means it's 2 dimension, right? Now, the movement. So we based on the center they have inside, outside. The center have up and down, right? So, and if you have 3 dimensions, there will be forward and backward. That's why we call that the 6th direction. But we start with the 3 point. Understand here? So now, because that the reference of the center is how we know first. We see from the center. Right? That answer questions?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, do you have any questions more?
Maybe you should give a brief overview and then just go with your philosophy.
Okay, now let me give a overview of what the system is. Now, first, our system, Zhong Xin Dao Chen, is based on the philosophy of the Zen and Tao, and even the Chinese acupuncture meridian point, right? And it talk about the nature of things, right? About try to understand what is the nature itself. Yeah, you see, that is the philosophy we want to talk about. But to understand the nature, right? What is the characteristics of the nature, first of all? Right? When we talk about characteristics of the nature, the first of the characteristics is the change. And then second nature is about they don't have one solid entity. Right? That means that everything is based on conditions. They come and go. They come and go. All right? First you must understand that the nature itself is always changing. So whatever you do, you must first think of change. Right? That means how can I be with the nature? That means it's change with the change. Now, yes, you see now, first you must be able to understand to be with nature, right? It's being with the moment of change. Now, is the the yin and yang here must have one neutral point that combine the two and to separate the two. So the balance of the yin and yang is the complementary balance. It's not balanced the two the same. The more important that you must understand, they are complementary balance. All right? So from the philosophy of understanding first the change, to see what is happening, you must change with the change. Now, the importance of the change here, how can you change with the change? How can you understand from the change here? Now, to understand from the change here, that we talk about keep on changing, yes, but how can you do that? That's why we talk about keep on balancing. Keep on balancing with the moment. Right? Keep on balancing with the moment in order not to change. You guys understand here? Right? That means we said change with the change to maintain, not to change. It's the moment. It's the present point. Yeah, here it's very tricky. So that means you're continually changing. You see, like here, right? So we are changing, moving. But the point here, they meet, they don't change. They maintain the same here. But they maintain the same, that means what? They are changing to maintain, not to change. All right? So this part is the hardest part. Right? That means this part, in order to do that, you need to be able to change with the change, to maintain, not to change. So from here, that only you can connect and be with the moment. So we can say that now, all the training is about connection, right? To connect, to be together, so you only can get the right informations. So you only can listen to what is happening, right? So sometimes we talk about this is direct knowing. So just to know must come from this direct. So when we talk about knowing, we have two references, right? You can say you know from the past or know from the present. So when you talk about knowing from the past, it's all our experience. So our experience. So now, a lot of people said that, yes, I am in the moment now. Yes, I feel, I touch, I hear. Now I'm in the moment. But to know what is the moment happening, how do you know? So normally, we fall back into our past experience to know the moment. Yeah, this is called we judge the moment. So do you really know the moment? No, but you are judging the moment using our past experience to see what is happening. But according to Zen and Tao, that is not the truth. That is based on what you think, based on your past experience. All right, so now our training must be direct, knowing the moment. But the hardest part is that how can you know the moment when it's keep on changing? All right, so that means we said that you must able to change with the change. That means you must flow along with it. But how can you flow along with it, first of all? Right? So the flowing along, that means that there always has the point of contact. When you're flowing along with the point of contact, how can you do that? Right? That means the point of contact, you must keep on balancing it. That means you keep on balancing it with the flow. Balancing what? Balancing the point that you meet, balancing the pressure that you hold. All right? So that means if I apply here 4 ounces, I move along with this 4 ounces. That means if opponent increase 10 ounces, I take away 6 ounces to get the 4 ounces. That's all. right? If you decrease down to 2 ounces, I increase another 2 ounces to match it up in order to have 4 ounces. This is what you call balancing. That means you are constant balancing to stay the same, not to change. Only when you can attain that point, then you have that kind of stillness. That kind of stillness in connections, then here you have only the clarity. Then you only can see what is happening according to that moment, right? If you cannot do that first step, you cannot, you see? But in order to do that first step, you need what? You need attention to be there first. That means they need concentration, right? Concentration to be there, to meet the hole over there first, to maintain there. When we talk maintaining is what? Holding is what? That means to maintain, that means you got to change with the change to maintain. To hold, you got to change with the change to hold. So from the training, you always got to stand on top of the change first. To maintain, not to change. That means you got to keep on balancing every moment, every second, constant balancing to be the same. So here is the present moment. And with that point, it turned into a stillness point, right? Stillness point, that means it's not to change. But not to change, that means you are changing not to change. Understand here? So from here, then you only can see the clarity. Now, when we talk about clarity, what do you mean by clarity? Right? When you talk about knowing what? If it doesn't base on the past to know, what do you see? Right? So you will see the difference. Now, different is what? Different, that means not the same is different, but the same is also the difference. Do you guys understand here? All right? Because the difference is about something are not the same. That's it. Right? Because not the same, I know. The same, I also know. You guys get here? Right? Because that we, under the Tao, right? Not the same, we have not labeled it yet. It's only the difference. If you label the things, okay, the difference is because it's red and black. That means you already go beyond the difference. That means you already get into the difference of judgment. Right? That means you are going beyond that difference to get into difference of using the past experience. Right? That is not the Tao. Tao, we keep on saying that you cannot be named. But how can you know? It's only knowing through the difference. All right? Because through difference here, you could able to see the relationship. Right? That has the change, the cause and effect. All right? So from here, we talk about knowing here is 1, 2, 3. Because of the separations and unifications, they have difference. Right? So far here, Is there anyone have any question here?
We have a question from YouTube, Rich D. Is the balancing pressure changing on the floor as well? Do you match on the floor the same as the point of contact?
Yes. First of all, now, when we talk about the center of mass and the gravity, right? The first point of contact we talk about is the gravity, right? That we are the body, we have one center of mass. They have this alignment, right, with the gravity. So when with a point of contact on the floor here, you are keep on balancing, right? Keep on balancing, that means to be stable. Stability comes from keep on balancing. Then from the balancing here, then on the point of contact, right? You're also balancing. First is the floor, then on the hand contact. Are you my question?
I think that's it here.
Yeah. All right. Is there any more questions?
Is there a guidance for balancing emotions in Zhong Xin Dao?
Now, yes, because when you pay attention to yourself, right? If you flow along with the moment, is what is happening. That is already a balancing, right? That means you don't engage with the thought, right? When you feel like you say that now, everything need to have mental and physical that work together, right? Attention itself, how to pay attention itself, right? Paying attention itself and open up yourself, that is already a balancing point, right? Just maintaining, like I said, that maintaining attention, maintaining observing is a balancing point. Yes? That means you keep on paying attention to yourself first. All right? So that means with what you are doing in actions, right? We directly connect. That is self-unification is also a balancing point. So as long as you are not referenced back to the thought, when you see, that's why when we do meditation, right? So we use a reference point, an object to hold on, right? To train, that someone talked about, that is the training of the concentrations. So at the same time, we are holding on the object. So if anything pulls us away, the thought to pull us away, we bring it back. So we are training to maintain, to keep on maintaining that, you see? So when you can maintain that, that is the balance point already. All right? So any more questions?
Hi, Sifu. I'm not sure what you meant by you will see the difference. It's not the same, but the same is also the difference.
No. Look at my hand. Even the shape has difference, yes?
Okay.
Even there's a line is a difference. All right? You see, how the hand form, there are differences that do the formation.
So you're talking about all of the little phenomenon.
Yes.
That are, okay.
There are difference.
Okay.
You see, now when you look at the white, like a wall, there's no difference. There's a difference, that's why you know. Because there's no difference, you know, yes?
Okay.
You see, I was talking about that kind of difference. Like, for example, sometimes I talk about the move. People talk about or you move first, or I move first. Right? Yes?
Okay.
I'm waiting for you to move first. There's no such thing. Right? If you don't move, that means you already choose not to move. That is your move. Understand?
Okay. I think I'm beginning to.
Right? It's not that, okay, you move, then I will catch you to move. No, there's no such thing anymore. You don't move, it's your move. Because you choose not to move.
Okay.
All right?
The same is the difference.
Same is the difference. No difference is difference. That's why I know. Yes?
Okay. No difference is still difference.
Yeah, no difference, still difference.
Okay. Thank you so much, Sifu.
Yes. So that's why we said that we know from the difference, very beginning, that you see things, right? That is the difference. That is without naming it first. Yeah, once we name it, we already using our past experience. We already judging the moment already. All right? So any questions?
I have a question, Sifu.
Yes.
So the point, you say 40%, 4 ounces. That just is determined by the first time you get contact. You keep that, whatever the first contact is. You know, where do you get the 4 ounces?
Now that you have a choice to choose. Now, for instance, that now I have 4 ounces. If I choose 4 ounces to maintain, I maintain the 4 ounces. But I can change it into 6 ounces. Then I use the 6 ounces.
But what determines that?
Now, that is determined on the conditions. So when we say conditions, you see, everything is based on the conditions. All right. Now, the condition will be still based on, well, like I said, what do you mean by the right actions? Right? What do you consider right? What is considered not right? That when you really come down to that, there's no such thing already. You see, it's based on the moment of what is appropriate. But what is appropriate is based on what? It's all will come down to based on the balance point. Right? Based on the balance point of the connect. Right? When we talk about unification, it's about connect. You must balance to connect. Right? First, you unify yourself, then you got to unify with the environment and with the opponent. But the point of contact, that moment of contact, that you keep on got to balance it. If we can't keep up with that balance, so you lose the connection. All right? So when we balance to connect, so what is the right formula, you see, then will be based on how many center can you connect? Like how big? So if you can connect 1 center, a second center, 2 center, all right, a 3 center, 4 center. So how well can you connect all this? So if based on the range, the distance, you see, so the pressure would change also, right? But if your attention is not enough to hold, you won't able to connect. when we talk about connection, they need two things, right? Anything that go out must return, not reverse. Right. First, you can say there's two things. There's one center that reverse, go back and forth, but there's another one that is going out and return. That's why they have three things also here. Reverse here, one is going out, one is returning. Then you only can connect, or else you cannot connect. So if you can connect from one center to have these three things, here we go out and return, and on the center here is the guideline of going out and reverse. But you want to connect another center, you need to have the same amount of the pressure to do the connect and return. Right? Like a puppet. Right? That means you must be able to connect it and return in a way. So all training in the beginning, you see, you do only reverse, return, reverse, you see, go out and reverse. But later on, you need to have return and reverse, going out and reverse, and with the going out and return. Return, that means that you need to able to hold on the other point. If you can't hold on the other point, you cannot connect. So the training is based on this kind of attention and the skill that to connect, all right? So when we talk about connecting here, the reference got to be using the center point. All right? Now, if you want to understand what is the center point, everything need a certain conditions to form something. If you set a center, what is the characteristic? What is the characteristic? And what is the quality? And what is the function of that one center point? Yes? So in order to be a center, we talk about the characteristic, the quality. A center must have up, down, left, right, forward, and backward. Must have all this balance surrounding that go out from the center and go out from the center to the circumference and come back to that center in order to consider the center point. You see? So one center point can able to manifest this directional energy. That's why we talk about one center. You must understand the 6 direction and the 3 dimension. Right? If you cannot understand this 6 direction and 3 dimension, your action is not what they call it's not in the optimal unification point. So you won't be very clear about your action. Right? So of course, but everything here, the first center point must come from the feet, must come from the gravity. Right? The gravity, then the mass. Then the mass, then with the alignment. Right? The alignment that has the 6 direction and 3 dimension. All right. Any more questions?
Yeah, we have some questions on from YouTube.
Yeah.
So you might have already answered it, but one of them says, what is the difference between reverse and return? And then there is question about, like, since now everyone is in isolation, well, not, well, most people are in isolation, what is the closest training to sticky hands that, can be done alone? And well, there's questions keep coming, so maybe you want to ask this.
Now, when we say, I already answered that the
Reverse return.
the reverse and return, right? When we say we reverse, you see, when you from one point, you see, every time anything must they come out from one point, one junction point, or you can say one point, one local point, or one anchor point. You see, or a pivot point. This point they go out to another point. So when you reverse, that means you got to let go from one point to come back another point. All right, you cannot, or else you cannot return, or else cannot reverse. Yes. So that means that means reverse. There's always one direction. You come here, you go. You come here, you go. Only one direction. Return, that means you go out and return from one point. You go out another point. You need to hold on this point as you are still going out and you are coming back to make a complete cycle. When complete cycle is made, then you have the going out and return that you consider you are connected. All right, this is the reverse and return. All right, and
So the other question is that, you know, because people are alone now, so how can they practice spinning hand? What is the closest to training sticky hand to be done alone? And then so another one is how do you adapt where there's no touch? We still adapt even without physical contact, right? If so, on what impulse?
now, first of all, if you train spinning and sticky hand, there's no way that you can do with yourself. You need a partner to interact, right? But to learning the touch, of course, you can do by yourself. The touch is that now we have every moment we have contact. We have eyes contact. We have 5 senses of point of contact. You see, the eyes, the contact is a formation. Nose, smell. Mouth, the taste. Ear, the hearing. The body, the touch. So every moment, once you wake up, there's already a contact. All right. So how are you going to use how to understand this kind of contact? You see. Now, first of all, I've been keep on saying that a point of contact, that where do you see me? Where do you hear me? All right. You see me not sitting out there. You see me is inside. You hear me is inside. So everything is a reflection into you. You say you are the receiver, right? We works what? We works like a camera. We are receiver. We capture things. So that's why we say that it's a reflection. Everything is a reflection. So from here, that means what? That means attention must be within yourself. That means attention must on your 5 senses, must be on your organ to receive. So that's why we said that these 5 senses is the gate that let information come in. Right? If you pay attention over here, that means what? That means you are being mindful. Right? So that is how we train the point of contact, the touch. Right? Not going out to receive information. All right?
Mm-hmm.
So any other?
Yeah, there's a few more questions here. if we are first balancing ourselves through basic exercise, how do we know that we are balanced or unbalanced? Is it only tension to look for or sense for? How to know if it's right or not?
Now, when we are balancing the self, for instance, you see, that's why we do the first exercise that do the rocking. When we do the rocking, when we rock forward, you feel the tension. When you rock back to the center, you can relax. Now, when we say relax, relax is the balance of two things, of yin and yang. Now, when we are direct, they always have the rebound energy, direct. All right, when you stand directly or touch directly, there's always a rebound energy. The reflection must be there directly. So when we also try to find out with rocking forward and backward to feel the tension, right? So we rock, when we rock to the front, we will find out that we have more, because now, first of all, now, within our body is also 1, 2, 3. You talk about 1, 2, 3. Yes. First is the skeleton. Second is the two group of muscles, the yin muscle and yang muscles. They hold on to the skeletons, right? They do the actions, but the skeleton will do the, like doing the pointing, directing, right? With the help of the yin yang muscles. Now, when we rock forward, you feel they will be tense because of the muscles that hold on the body parts to not letting the body fall, right? When you rock forward, where do you feel? Right, you will feel more of the yang muscles that try to stretch it out when you move forward, right? Now, when you rock to the back, you will feel what? You will feel more of the yin muscles that try to draw from holding the body parts from falling back. So if each of the muscles, one group of the muscles, they use more than another group, that means you're already off. You know that. But the action, when we come to action, you got to fall back to either yin muscle or yang muscles. Right? That's why we talk about a movement need a pivot point. Every movement need a pivot point. When we hold someone, put someone in the neutral position, to put it in the balance point, they stop. They cannot move. This is where we learn to understand how to freeze the opponent. All right, any more questions?
Yeah. So the process of Zhong is heavily emphasized in Tai Chi and other internal arts. Does it have a place in Yili Chen? Is it called something else? If so, where in unification of self is trained?
In martial arts, everyone talk about Zhong also. It's not only Tai Chi, you see. But in Chinese, Zhong is what? Zhong is just loose. It's just loose. Right now, in our term, but I'm not trying to talk about different other martial arts, you see, because I'm not expert of other martial arts. So I'm not going to talk about other Tai Chi or what, you see. In our term, now, when we say relax, Zhong in a way is a balance thing, you see. When we say balance is what? Balance is always going back to its own natural state. When you Zhong, that means going back to his own natural state. It's to relax, it's a balance point, they're going back to its own natural state. For instance, our body, if you say Zhong, relax, you will feel that our yin muscles, going back to its own natural state will be what? Will be drawing, absorbing and condensing. When we relax, the yang muscle what? The yang muscle will be stretching and expanding. That is what you call when you relax, when you zone. Back to its own state. All right? So any more questions?
Nope, not from here.
All right, do you guys have any questions here?
Let me show you the rest of the people.
Sifu,
Yes.
do you do the basic exercises like every day, or do you just pick one or two and do them for a day and then the next two another day? Or could you guide us, since we're at home now and have more time, to maybe have a good training regimen?
The problem is it depends on the individual thing, you see. Now, of course, the first thing is that I will advise that everyone do the whole set first, right? Choose to do the whole set.
Okay.
The whole set actually, later on, the whole set will be only one movement, because one movement contains the whole everything. Because on the basic exercise, we break down in the way that each exercise we pay attention to certain criterion. Yes.
Yeah.
Now this exercise we pay attention this. That exercise we pay attention that. Right. So you try to do all the 15 basic exercise first.
Okay.
Separating each exercise, each quality we are looking differently in each exercise, right? So when you understand all this quality already, but every movement will contain all the 15 qualities, all the qualities will come down to all on balancing, right?
Okay, thank you.
But before that, you need to break it down one by one, you see? So if you train that which one you are not clear enough, so you can choose the exercise to do it. Now, I want to emphasize a little bit here. The reference that how do you train correctly, like I said, is always based on the center. All right, the center of connections. First is the bond. Right? No doubt we talk about, later on we talk about the 13 points, right? So all these 13 points is also the diagnostic list that you feel that, or you don't have that, okay, you pull out which point that look at what you should do to balance that point, right? So, so when you are understanding the connection first, see now, there's two things here. One is the structure, right? The structure, first of all, we talk about structure, right? We talk about the using skeleton, right? Now, skeleton, and there is also one alignment. There's two different things here. The skeleton is not the alignment. The alignment is the mass. It's the center of mass and the gravity that form the alignment. You guys understand here?
Yep.
So that's why we say the alignment fall in front, so slightly in front of our spine, you see? They fall through our perineum down to our center of the feet, in front of our shin. In front of our shin, down to the hollow, you see? Down to the hollow on top here, see? Right, the hollow here, see, on top, right? But that is not through the bone. That is through the alignment of the mass and the gravity, right? But we use that alignment, right? That the bone and the body parts and everything, they stack up, you see? that axis line. But we need to use the bone to move, to adjust the alignment.
Yeah.
Without the bone, how could you adjust the alignment? All right, that's why if you use the skeleton to rotate, you will start to, what? You try to wiggle. Only when you use the alignment to spin, then you are center. All right, so you guys must make that clear.
Thank you, Sifu.
All right, but we use the bone center to connect. So that's why a lot of people will talk about, okay, 6 harmony or 7 star. All right, 6 harmony is about the ankle, the knee, the hip, right, the shoulder, the elbow, and the wrist. And the 7 star, they will include the neck, right, the neck. So you rotate. That's why we talk about the C7. Hold on our C7, right? You rotate. So you rotate on the C7 here. Hold it still here and rotate, you see? All right, so from here, now, this rotation, this one line here, so you must train until that you have concentration and have strong attention over there. With that strong attention over there, then you only have precise direction of movement. You know, if you have a stronger point that you can hold, movement will be more precise, because direction of action must come from one point, one steady point. That means we said that one pivot point, right? When in action of movement, that one pivot point, steady point, they cannot move. If the point move, your direction vibrate, then it won't be clear. So clearer the point is, the direction you can go more precise. So when direction come into action, movement always start from one point of rotation, right? Why is that in one point of rotation? Because that's why we keep on talking about horizontal line. Horizontal spin is the pulmonary spin, because that you need to hold on the point, you see? Hold a point to rotate. Hold on the point. So support from one point to move. So you never leave the point here. When you move the point, you are not stable. So when you want to hold on a point, what action you can do? You only can do clockwise, counterclockwise rotation. Clockwise, you see, only can do clockwise and up and down. You see, when you can do this rotation, that means it spread out 4 directions, and up and down 6 directions. So that action start from there. All right, now, there's another principles that we talk about. Why is the cross not the X? Why the cross, not the X? The X still give you the center point. The cross still give you a center point. What's the difference here?
The cross has the vertical line.
Yes. The more important thing is that now the cross has the vertical line. That means they engage down to that we are holding the center of gravity. We must hold on the center of gravity to do the move, to do the action. That is the vertical line. Now, horizontal line is what? Practically speaking, now, horizontal line actually is vertical line. They must come together. Horizontal actually is vertical. Sometimes we use vertical, right? Sometimes we use horizontal, because horizontal is 90 degrees to the gravity. 90 degrees parallel to the gravity, horizontal. Vertical line is also 90 degrees. Understand? Right. So we use here to understand how to look, how to see the difference from the gravity. So a lot of the basic exercise, sometimes what you look for, like you do horizontal white, right? We are looking for what is 90 degrees along with the gravity, right? So with the vertical rotation and horizontal must be what they call working together. You see, this and this. You see. So then, when you come to point of contact, you can measure and differentiate. Then you only can see the difference. Using the point of connections, you get able to understand from there. It's not through the past experience. It's through the point of contact that you feel the gravity. You feel the alignment and the gravity to know the action. That are constant feeding the floor, constant connecting the floor to know what is happening. So if you understand what is horizontal, vertical, then you look at everything in this world, everything grows vertical. See, vertical, 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 right? And rotation. You see, like flowers and trees, they all go by rotation. That is what the nature of things is. All right. So when we talk about this philosophy here, all right, that's why when I come up the path for the students to follow, and the concepts I talk about to make sure that there's nothing to learn. Practically, there's nothing to learn because everything is already there. The only thing is that now, I want to make the difference is that under the conventional training, learning is more about accumulation. Now, when we come down to accumulations, is the knowledge. It doesn't mean that there is no value. Of course, they have value here, right? In the beginning, we need knowledge, right? Need a knowledge to point the direction. When once you understand things that now, how we learn things, then you look at it, actually everything is already there, right? Things is already there. That means you only need to observe it, recognize what is happening that happened in that moment, right? And you can realize it. So the training is based on connecting, recognizing, realizing. Understand here?
Is the vertical center line considered the primary pivot point as well?
Yes.
Okay. And then Bernie also asked, can you talk more about the X? The X was discussed at the New York Winter Intensive regarding the shoulder and hips joint.
Yeah, but yes. In one workshop, I talk about X is about the crossover. It's a crossover of connection. It's a crossover of connection of the front that connect the back connect the front. That kind of X, you see. Right. You see, but the cross is more of the point that we hold on the vertical line with the gravity. That is the most important part. Am I?
Good. Yeah.
Good. Any question? So first of all, the training, I want to make my point is that learning process, right, is to recognize and to realize what is already there. And for the principle wise, you see, on the principle wise, I talk about the mental neutral, physical neutral. Mental neutral is about the awareness, about mindfulness, how to maintain the mindfulness, but how to use our five senses organ, right? And pay attention to have attention over here as a receiver, all right? And for the physical, neutral is from one point, one center point that have with 6 direction and 3 dimension. From one point, that one balance point, there's a lot of things that you can say that everything comes from one point if you can understand it. You see? Any more questions to that?
The X, structure versus connections. Is the X about the connection of yin and yang muscles?
No. When I was referring that on the seminars, that we was connecting the yang from the back, the yang from the front.
The yang from the back and yang from the front.
Yeah, it's from the Mingmen. You say when the Mingmen, no. Excuse me. First of all, you see, when we talk about the training, you want to put it in a simple term. You see, that we only have 2 groups of muscles.
You need to show one. No.
Yin muscles, yang muscles. Yes, the yin muscles on the front, the yang muscle on the back. All right, now, all yin muscles under the macrocosmic energy, flow, all the yin muscles that draw to Dantian. So that means here in the front, they draw to Dantian. But on the back of the leg, they draw to Dantian. That means they suck up. You see, they draw up. Now, they draw up here. You see now, and the yin muscle and the yang muscle, they all expand from the Mingmen, right? From the Mingmen, they stretch it out to the fingernail. And the back of the yin muscle, of the yang muscles, they wrap around. Now, let me see, they wrap around your waist, right? They go to the hip. You know, the hip, there's a hip crease, the top of the hip. That means there's where the junction point is, you see, the cross, no, the X is, you see. Then from there, it crosses to the front of your leg. They go down to your toenail. All yang muscles, all yang energy go to the nail. They start to go to the thumb and the toe. They wrap it to the nail, you see. The yang. The yin, pinky from the toe. They turn, they wrap the yin muscles. They go down back to the dantian. Right? And the feet is the toe. The pinky toe. They wrap the coil up and draw the energy back to the dantian. Right? This is the macrocosmic energy flow. So all action and movement, they are done through macrocosmic energy flow. But from the yin muscle to yang muscle, they need to cross the bone. So all movement, first the yin muscle, they draw to the bone, they condense to the bone and draw to dantian. And the yang, the bone expand, they go to the yang muscles from the Mingmen out. So you could say that, that's why we talk about the dantian is what is a reservoir. The Mingmen is the fountain, is the releasing of life force. Dantian is storing. Kidney point, the Mingmen is releasing. Right? So so here we talk about all movement must have the macrocosmic energy flow and the bone marrow, the draw to the bone and expand the bone. To expand the bone, that means you could condense the joint and expand the joint. Or you can say you are condensing and drawing the skin, the yin skin, and stretching the yang skin. You stretch the yang skin, you are stretching the joint, right? With the rotation. Trying to get it through one point of rotation. So train to get one point of rotation to increase the concentration of one point. If one steady point, if you can hold that all movement come from that one point, and all movement go back to that one point. That one point is the balance point. Okay, any more questions?
Explain the difference between vertical X and a diagonal X. Did you talk about that already?
I talked already.
Talked about vertical plus is horizontal and vertical relating to gravity, but it's diagonal X the tissue connection.
There I'm not clear. There's a lot of connection. All right.
Alan has a question. Did he ask that already?
Sifu, when you speak about training through one point or training your awareness and your concentration on one point and creating like, or at least observing the interchange between the yang and the yin, do you have like a, can you start with any point, or do you start with the basic, the center of mass of the body, or like what is your thinking in this regard?
Of course, there's a lot of point, yes, but the first point must come from the center of gravity and the mass. That is the alignment. That is the unification of your body first. All right, you must have the unification of the body first in order that you unify with the outside, right? Because your first of all, you must have your mass reference first. Because all action surrounding everything must relate back to this one point of this alignment point, the axis point. Some people call it the axis point, the alignment point, right? That means from your mass and the gravity. Because without that stability, your action wouldn't have any kind of power or right action. All right. So you must go back to that one point first.
If I have a punch from the big boxer like Klitschko, maybe very fast and very quick, how I can catch the point of contact when he's so quick, so fast?
First of all, now, what is fast? What is slow?
Maybe big boxer have a very fast punch.
You see, you must understand that everything is based on time and space. All right, now. It's about attention. How far the attention can you connect? It's like a Wi-Fi. It's like a radar. If my attention can with this whole house, my attention is that big. Yes?
Yes.
And your attention is only one small room. Within your room, you know. Outside your room, you don't know. Yes?
Yes.
So outside of your room, that means what? You don't know, but it's under my area. Yes?
Yes.
Then I know you don't know.
Yes.
Then can you be faster than me?
No. No. I understand.
That means what? That means your future. Outside is your future. Your future is under my present. Yes?
Yeah.
Now, we don't talk about fast or slow. We talk about what is the timing and what is appropriate. Now, you talk about attention. If my attention can connect, can stretch out, can connect and stretch out, my attention is already there. Yes?
Yes.
So can you be faster than me or not?
No, I can't be.
You cannot be faster than me. But the problem is a lot of them have the attention on point of contact, but they don't have attention on the eye contact. Right?
Right.
Some depend on how well can you manage this contact point.
It's difficult.
Right?
Yeah.
So this is about training the attention. If I can connect, I'm already there. Yes?
Yes.
So you cannot be faster than me. All right? So how fast can you be? Also useless because I'm already there. Right? But that is not easy. Of course, that need training. Need to get clear, to get rid of all the rubbish within your mind, you see?
Yes.
Right? The mind cannot be occupied by other things, you see? You must understand that only one can occupy. You see?
Yeah.
Right? If you have thinking process, if you have thought, your mind is occupied by the thought. That means it's not occupied. That means you don't have attention anymore.
Mm.
Right?
Right.
So if I sit over here, you cannot sit over here. Understand?
Yeah.
So the problem is you must understand how the minds work. But the toughest part is to train the mind. So that's why we said that we can't even focus our mind like how many seconds, right? You all run away. Now you try to focus something, boom, gone already. Try to focus, boom, gone already. See, that is what we try to train mental and physical with our body, right? When mental and physical with the body here, right? With attention, this is what we talk about point of contact. So can you pay attention and hold on point of contact or not? And hold on point of contact to connect directly. If you cannot do that, your mind will fall back to the thought, to the past experience. Then you lose the point of contact.
Mm.
You see?
Yeah.
So the point of contact needs three things. It's object, subject, unconscious. Our conscious is our attention, right? The object is our sense organ. Now the subject is our sense organ. Object is what outside, yes?
Yeah.
So if you can pay attention over here and direct connect, then how well can you hold? The problem is we can't last couple of seconds. Something come into mind already. Tell you, oh, this is good, this is no good. You already been disturbed by your past attention. So you cannot connect directly. So the training is to learn to connect directly.
Yeah.
Right? So to reverse and return kind of connection with the touch to maintain the balance point. So if you can keep on training that, you will see the difference. Okay.
Maybe one
Any more
question.
questions?
After the point of mass balance alignment, is there a typical second point, or is that based on condition only?
What do you mean?
That's what he says.
Again?
After the point of mass balance alignment, is there a typical second point, or is that based on conditional only?
No, first of all, of course, first of all is the, you got to keep on balancing your alignment, all right, to maintain that, all right, to maintain that on that with the gravity first. Then there's a lot of points that you could coordinate to there, but the condition will come by when outside influence. When outside influence, there will be point of contact. The outside influence point of contact, we call that the software. All right, it's the software. They can be anywhere, right? Can be any touch, anywhere. That kind of, they can keep on changing different point, you see? That kind of point of balancing. So you are balancing the hardware and the software. First of all, you must balance the hardware itself first. If the hardware itself cannot be balanced, how can you balance with the software? Cannot.
Yeah, because the software will be tense.
Yeah. So first is you balance your hardware. That means you are self-unification. We call that self-unification is the hardware, right? When you come to balance with the point of contact with environment, with opponent, that is your balancing the software. The incoming force balancing with your hardware. You see?
Yeah. Can you use reverse and return at the same time? Is one better in certain condition than another?
Reverse and
return. You can.
No, if you can have a out and return, you could already have a reverse. Right? Because that you at first you only can manage the reverse, like I pull, push, I pull, I push, right? I pull, I push is a reverse, you see? When I pull, push here, at the same time I'm pushing, I'm pulling. In order to do the pull, push together must come from one point of rotation. Right? If you cannot maintain the one point of rotation, you cannot produce more than two direction energy. Only from one point of rotation, you only can produce more direction energy. All right. So any more questions?
No, that's it. A very good explanation about fast and slow.
Okay, I believe that that I'm going to stay that long. That's 1.5 hours already. So we will meet again See, we will come up with another date that we. I would like to feedback. You see that for you guys, what appropriate time would be better for you guys, because we try to cater different group of people from different time zone. You see, all right, because that in Europe there's 5 hour difference. 6 hour difference. 6 hours. For Eastern Europe is how many hours?
6.
Eastern Europe is 5 hours.
5.
In Israel now,
It's 5.
Oh, Europe 5 hours. Eastern Europe is 7 hours, right?
5.
But in Poland, how many hours?
In
5
Poland,
hours.
it's 5.
In Poland also 5?
Yes.
Poland 5. 7 hours.
7
So
hours.
5 to 7.
No, in Poland is 5 hours.
In Poland, it's 5.
Bulgaria 7.
7 hours in Poland.
No,
What's the time now?
Poland is 5 hours.
5 hours difference, and starting at 7 because it's 5 hours difference.
Oh, 5 hour difference. Okay.
Yeah.
Now it's 8:30.
Now it's 8:30. Yes.
But England is also 5, right?
No, England is.
England
4.
is 4.
Oh.
England is 4.
Russia is 7.
Russia is 7. So that means 2 o'clock will be the good one, right?
2 o'clock is fine.
2 o'clock is very
Like
good.
today, it's good. Yeah.
Yes, and it's perfect.
Perfect time.
Yeah, we have
Perfect.
a feedback form that I created. If I would be appreciated if everyone could like scan and give us some feedback. You could just scan that QR code, and then they'll bring you to a form.
Okay, madam. Yeah. Okay. The next one will be when? Will be.
Well, right now, I think Rich volunteered to teach one, but I haven't scheduled a time for him yet today. But Jeff can do tonight at 8 o'clock, so that's
Okay,
a little
okay.
too late. So I don't know who is available to do one right now. And I wasn't able to get a hold of Rich.
Now, for answering questions, some of them you can also send us a message first. All right. You can send us a message first, then I could also explain it. You see. All right. So so you guys, will see you guys next time. All right.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Bye bye. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Wash your hands.
Okay.
Because we will
Thank you,
schedule
Sifu.
the next class.
So because that we are still not very well planned, you see, we do as we go. You see? All right.
Same thing with the changes.
Yes, we do with the change. But you see? All right.
Yeah, and everybody is okay, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, everyone's
You're
happy
fine.
and healthy.
Be healthy, guys.
Okay.
I have a question.
Thank you.
Thank
See you
you.
guys.
Did you say it will be at 8 o'clock lesson today?
Today lesson.
I will keep an eye on your email because we're gonna plan maybe one at 8 o'clock tonight, New York time, or we will.
I
have
am
one
asking.
soon. Maybe we'll
8
have soon.
o'clock?
I need to get in touch with our instructor. Maybe like half an hour later, an hour later. We don't know. Keep an eye on your email.
No,
Or
8 o'clock is
Facebook announcement.
2 a.m. at night. So I want to, if you can, send letter before. Because if it 2 o'clock, I need to have letter 2 hours before.
I will confirm within the next 30 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
it will be fine.
and I'll send out information soon.
Okay.
And I want to say some people miss your lesson today because it was too late.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.